Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Danaris, and I am the host of the Mars Show. And I would definitely have to start the show out with an apology because I definitely did that video a few months ago for sure, and I only had a small inkling that I had did it, just a very small one. So I look back this morning. Like I said, I was rushed yesterday, so I look back this morning. And I definitely did it, and I rewatched it, but it was totally different. Like everything was totally different. So that I feel like I might need a counselor for that because I mean I sat through that video like with a genuine like watchfulness and really didn't kind of pick up on it until the end. So I apologize for that. I apologize for that. But I know for a fact that we got a brand new video today that we haven't done. And the title of this video is Hotcakes Like Granny Used to Make. And I did get this video from Smoking and Grilling with AB. I hope everybody's having a good day out there. I hope everybody had a good day yesterday, and I hope everyone continues to have a good day for the remainder of such. Now let's jump right into it. Let's go.
Hey, listen, so I know after looking at the thumbnail, you're thinking like, yeah, I got to go and tap in. What is AB doing, right? So I'm going to show you how to make
thumbnail was like fire.
Pancakes we grew up on, or at least my era, you know what I mean? Because now when I go out and get something to eat, you know what I mean? And when I get pancakes, if I'm buying them, they just like super fluffy. You know, I like them fluffy, but I like them old school with that crispy edge on the outside. That's the way grandmama made them, right? So you done seen the thumbnail. We finna
I ain't do that on purpose either.
What we gonna do is like we always do. And I want to tell you, like, don't be expecting it to be a little bit different than everybody else's as far as ingredient wise go, than how you guys make your own pancakes, right? So listen, we got flour, you gotta have a large egg, right? Now listen, I put this right here, baking powder. Sometimes I get confused and I get to talking. It is baking powder, and I'll say baking soda. So I left this out just to keep it, you know.
Okay.
So you
guys make that same mistake.
Mistakes, right? Look, we got really sugar, butter, which this butter right here is going to be melted.
Okay.
Right, and then you got to have a little salt. Right, that gives it that balance.
Perfect balance.
Milk, of course. Balance. And if you guys didn't know, this is my own vanilla extract. Vanilla extract, folks, is so easy to make.
Okay.
And this one right here, this one I made this, and it had a 4-month shelf life. I do have some more. You guys stay with me. I'm gonna give some away. If you want something premium, these are vanilla extracts that I have are probably run, you would buy them in the store, probably run you about 50 bucks, okay, right? But I'm gonna give some away. You know, I make
That's what's up, baby. That's what's up.
6 months and go from there. Now, with that being said, don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Okay, so listen, I've already touched bases on like the ingredients. You guys should be familiar with these ingredients. That's how you do them too. You know what I mean? This is like the basic base. But again, this video is really about, you want to check this out, it's really about the procedure and how to get it.
I can't wait because I really have been working on trying to achieve that real thick, nice, still maintain pancake. So excuse me, I'm really paying attention now. So let's go. The floor is yours, AB.
You know, to get them crispy edges without making your pancakes too dark. I got it. Some of you guys want to like turn up the heat so much, right?
Okay.
So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our dry ingredients in the inside.
All right.
I've already told you guys, look, this is flour. Right? That's 1 cup. We got a couple of tablespoons of baking powder. Here we got a little sugar.
Okay.
Now you guys can add as much sugar as you want. I put a couple of tablespoons. I like to do it the old school way. My grandmama made our pancakes. They got a little heat. You know, I mean, excuse me, not a little heat. It has a little bit of sweetness to it.
Okay.
It might seem like that's a lot, but it's really not, folks. Now you want to get yourself a whisk. I go ahead and whisk this together even before I add anything else to it.
Good mix up. Good mix up.
The key is when you're making these pancakes is you don't want to overwork your batter. So listen, you just want to make sure it's completely mixed right here. And then we start adding
all
the rest of our ingredients to it.
Mix everything.
This would be the point where like you guys want to have like a flavored one. You know, if you want to put some cinnamon in there, whatever you guys looking for, a dash, a little nutmeg, whatever you looking for, now's the time to put that in here. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and crack these, crack this, egg. We'll put that in there like that. Right? I'm gonna go ahead.
Hey, I just checked. I just caught myself doing AB's little egg technique the other day. Didn't even realize I picked up on it. I did that subconsciously. So, hey, let's keep watching. You never know. You never know. The mind is a beautiful thing.
And add some of my milk to it. Well, all of my milk.
That's crazy.
Right? Just 1 cup whole milk, folks. I mean, will it work with any other type of milk? Yes, it will. You know what I mean? But we like to use whole milk. So look, and then if you come over here, look at what I'm doing. I'm taking this right here. You see all that residue? I got hot soapy water right here. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm just rinsing this, and I put it in there. Now, for my couple of tablespoons of
AB clowning on y'all a little bit.
butter. Let me go ahead and put this in the microwave. Let me melt
Clean
this.
as you
Put that in there, whisk it all together, and go from there. All right, we melt it. Now, just pour this in the inside here like this.
Okay.
That's good. Because what we're going to do now is just, I'm going to still get us a rinse. All right, get your whisk, and just whisk all this together. Main thing is you just want to make sure that this egg and that yolk is completely, broken.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look in the inside there, it should look like that. All right, you don't see how nothing is like that pool that you get, from the white of the egg. You don't get that, right? So now I'm gonna bring this over here
because it will separate and resettle.
I'm gonna go ahead and
make
make a little center.
A white part of that egg.
You don't have to do all of this. I see people doing it. Depends on what you're making. That you usually do this, but it's just me doing that right now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add this in here.
Okay.
Right in the middle. All right. The middle. Right now, remember I told you we don't want to overwork it, right? So therefore, I'm gonna start off by I'm gonna use my whisk just to get it stirred around.
Okay.
Right. We'll put that there, just to get it like this. Just work it.
Okay. Start around the edges there.
Right.
Okay.
Once you see it start to thicken up, that's when I switch over to my spatula. And then all we're gonna do is like just fold. This is actually right here a good point to start folding. You don't care if it's lumpy. Okay. Lumpy is good. I'm gonna have you guys come on in here. Back. Remember, we just fold it over.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know it's pancakes. I know we're not making a cake.
Nice,
but you don't want to overwork it, right? You see them lumps in there, and that is okay.
Okay.
That's it.
And I like pancakes, like you said.
You see right here.
That nice.
You know what I mean? If you feel like you want it to be, you can make it a little bit, looser, or wet. But I say this right here.
That's nice consistency for sure.
So let me go ahead. What I did was I started here, right? And I went ahead and put myself a low flame just to get the cast iron nice, going. It doesn't make a difference whether you guys use a griddle or nothing like that. I'm gonna show you. It's the fact that we're gonna be using, check this out. We're gonna be using a little bit of oil to protect that butter and a lot of butter, right? And that's gonna do it. Now, the key is we don't want to cook it so fast that it gets burned, right? It'll start looking black.
Now, am I the only one, or do like the first couple pancakes always turn out like hammered? My first couple pancakes are hammered. But I guarantee AB is going to be top tier on point. Let's go. So I'm watching AB.
Right, so the first one will be always a little bit on the tricky side.
I'm learning that.
And now, check this out. Now we start adding, our butter. You notice how much butter I put in there? I like to have a lot of butter.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my fire down. I don't want it to be too hot. Right? We just want this to go ahead and melt. As soon as this melts, then we start spooning this in the inside. Okay, so if you guys come in here, you can see all of my butter is melted. This is how I do this. You guys can use a ladle. I'm going ahead and just using a tablespoon, and I'm gonna use, just a couple of these.
Okay.
It depends on how big you want them. You know what? Let's go like about 2.5, right? Now I'm using my big cast iron, so I can go ahead and get myself. I can actually get a lot.
See, I'm about to try that because and my grease is normally a lot hotter for sure. But I'm about to try that, man, because I normally just pour in. Let me know what you do at home. Leave it in the comments. Yeah, I definitely pour. I have to try spooning in there next time. Thicken up my batter some. I see what's going on. Look, I'm learning. Hope you are too. Okay.
Let me explain to you what's going on. Like what I did was I turned this over. Mm-hmm. I flipped it, right? So you see how it's light? I want you to look at how big my pan is. I think this is right here might be a 22-inch, cast iron. So listen, having a burner under here, I'm not using a stove burner. I'm using one of these camping style burners.
Yeah.
And the heat comes here and it has to dissipate.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and take these. Let's flip these over.
Nice flip. Nothing sticking. Perfect bubbles
on
listen
top. To this right here. Listen. Come on. Yeah. These are old school ways. Now let's look at the color. Wherever you see is like this, that means it was further away from the heat. Over here, it got a little bit too hot, but I promise you this one right here, can't nobody have that one but me.
I was thinking
that one
too.
And this one right here, right?
Perfect.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and make another one. We just going to cook it under this because most people don't have a 22-inch anyway. And then, you know what? I'm going to show you something. Follow me. I'm going to just show you this part right here.
Big skillet.
This is a griddle. They design, if you guys ever want to know why they like this, because these go over a burner here, a burner here. To give you an example, if you come on over this way, I'll do it like this.
Breaking it down for us. Let's go.
And now you got even heat because it lays over 2 burners, right? Me using that big cast iron, that don't really, do nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one so I can get that perfect one. And that's why you guys are here, because I made that one that's on that thumbnail.
And
but
that definitely turned
griddle
out good.
or just
definitely.
a standard, just a regular 12-inch cast iron. Okay, so this is how we doing it. I went ahead and used what mostly everybody gonna have, something smaller, right? So now you can see the difference in the footprint, meaning it's not so wide, the heat is here, and
look at them pancakes sitting over there. I don't even, that might be 2. No, I think that's 3. Like that. Yes, that is definitely Granny's kitchen hotcakes for sure, And it just kept catching my attention. I'm like, what is that over there? Looking all hefty and delicious.
He has to still spread, right?
Hearty, I could
have countered that by putting it in the oven, brought it up to temp, and had everything evenly hot, but I didn't, right? So let's just go ahead. I'm gonna make one more for you guys, so you guys can see.
That's a good cake.
Let me go ahead and cut this butter. I already put my oil in there, right? I'm gonna put this down here like this, and we'll just go ahead and just get this to go, right? Now, if your batter starts to thicken up, you can always add just a tad bit, a little bit in increments of milk.
Okay.
Right? So I already did that. And look, this is what we want to have.
Okay.
Remember, we don't want to overwork it. Right? So I got enough to make myself one more.
That's going to be the best one.
You know what I mean? We almost down.
Best one.
We almost melted. I'm going to kick back. Now that this whole thing is nice, I can tell the way it's working.
Nice.
Now, we just going to go ahead and put this right here in the center.
I see. That's how I do mine right there. Nice pour. That's gonna be the best cake out of all of them.
All right, so I'm gonna bring you guys in here right now. Let's come in here and take a look. Come in here and look at this right here.
Let me see.
When you see that right there, you see these? You see how them bubbles came over that way? Right? So now I get underneath the bottom of that, and then we make a flip.
Nice.
And you see this right here, how that rolled like that?
Nice.
That's the way my grandmama used to make them. Now remember, when you got enough heat and it's dissipated, underneath your pancakes or your whole pan or whatever it is, whatever you guys are using, griddle or whatever, you want to make sure that it's evenly.
They don't make them like that anymore.
What am I trying to say?
I'm about to
the
start.
Heat is evenly distributed, right? So this is what you want to have. So listen, if your pancakes don't do this.
Look at that. Perfect burn ring around. That is a perfect burn ring around that pancake. We ain't gonna start. I'm not gonna start.
You ain't did it the granny way. Now, I don't fight nobody. Like if you want them to have them fluffy, you know what I mean? They still fluffy. But if you want to have them like, I guess that'd be IHOP or any place that you go out, Denny's or something like that. Wherever you guys get your pancakes, if they come out, with the soft edges on there, those work too. But for me, I like to pay homage to my granny. All right, so look, there you go.
For sure.
Really, this was just about, it's not really about just having some good, pancakes, because just about everybody on the planet, make good pancakes as far as the batter go. Everybody can go online.
You're going to sleep twice because that first round is going to put you out. Then you're going to wake up and finish over the leftovers, and you're going to sleep again. For sure.
Download something, screenshot something, and then the hard part is actually making it where to come out the right way, right? So listen, I'm not finna over talk nothing like that. You know what I mean? I can. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this one.
What we got?
You know what I mean? This maple syrup. I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below, what is your favorite syrup? Do you like that butter pecan? I bet you guys can't guess mine. Go ahead and put it in there right now, what you think it is. I love maple syrup, but it's something that I like even more than that. Now, with that being said, let me just go in here, and get, oh my goodness. Hey, I can hear it as I go there.
Boy.
When I get to the edge, listen. You hear that right there? That's that ooh-wee, folks.
Is that ooh-wee?
I'm going to go ahead and just, come on, let's come on out of there. You hear that? You hear that little crunch? This is what you want to have. Now I'm doing this a little bit more unorthodox way. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to pour this right here. Anyway, y'all.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cover me. I'm going in. Look at that.
Hold on.
Look at that. All right, we're going to do we got to do a freeze frame. Look at that. Nice and fluffy. Everything is just cooked to the T. The butter is perfectly melted on top. There's just drizzle, just a little dropping of syrup on there. Like, come on, man. And that's what is that? That's a 4-stack, a 4-high. Come on, man. Yeah, you going to bed. Going to bed. And it cuts so easy. Like butter, baby. Yeah.
Now, usually I talk at the end of these videos, but this right here is like close to my heart. You know what I mean? And it takes me down that flavor train and that time machine, you know what I mean? Make me think of like, just like my childhood. So I'm going to wrap it up like this. Let me give you guys a visual. I'm getting ready to put my eggs in here and put a little andouille sausage, cut it down the middle, go ahead and do it old school way, right? So let me go ahead and get that going. Now, meanwhile, you guys let me know what flavors you like.
My bad,
Tell me
I
what you
zoned
guys
out
think
for a minute.
that my favorite serve is, and I'll let you know. And other than that, let me take this time to say, hey, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and get me one more bite before I don't have nothing to go along with my eggs and my andouille. So with that being said, I'm not finna walk out, but I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.
For sure, AB. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. What can I say? Only thing I can say is, for sure. Only thing I can say is that. I definitely appreciate that. I seen the little walk down memory lane you took us down, and I started thinking about my grandma and her two sisters, and I'm just gonna tell you the names, and whatever picture comes to mind, that's exactly what they were. It was Lula Bell, Vera, and Gracie May. Straight gangsters. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope everything was well and you guys be safe out there. Have a good one. Later.